Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. All right. Let's see how long I can last today. Let's see if anyone will join this live actually. Hi everyone. In case this is your first time watching me live, my name is Romy. Channel is Rome with Romy, and I'm going to talk about people pleasing part 2 today. Now, I am feeling a bit under the weather, so I'm not going to make this a long live. I hope that I can at least make this at least an hour, and whatever I don't go over today will just trickle down to next week and we'll do a part 3. So, in any case, I see someone joined. Hello, hello, hello. If it's your first time, oh my god, we are live. Yes, we are, little mama. Yes, we are. How are you? I had to put a little dark aesthetic. I hope. Oh, thank you, little mama. Thank you, sis. I'm actually, I don't know. It's like I thought I would feel better, but hold on a second, y'all. Oh my gosh, the smoke alarm is going off. Okay, let's do this. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Dom is handling it, so all right. Okay, we just had a little emergency here. I know, right? Okay. Yeah, you know what? Like, oh, hold on a second, y'all. I gotta open the window because he's making something and it's causing the smell to burn. Hi, her creative mind. Sorry, y'all. The smoke alarm was going off. The wonders of being with Romy. Impromptu. Yeah, I promise to do lives every Sunday, and I'm really holding myself accountable to it. So unless I'm like really, really super duper sick, then I'm gonna be showing up. That's how we gonna do it. And if y'all see these moving boxes in the back, Dom and I are moving. So we're moving next month. Um, hopefully, everything goes well with that. It's been a crazy month, or it's going to be a crazy month, and I don't know. Like I ended the year sick and I'm starting the year sick. So hopefully these are the only sicknesses. Chat a smoke alarm. Hold on, yo. Hold on. What you said, little mama? Let me see what you wrote. Hold on. Let me go. You know what? Let me go into my comments while people are joining. Let me go into my comments because I have my channel up right now. So hold on. You said I had a cold at the end of the year too, right? You said I knew we were hot, but I didn't think we set the smoke alarm. Right? Setting off the smoke alarm. I don't know what it is. Is these whatever he's cooking, every time he cooks it, it just it causes a smoke alarm to go off. But we might have to turn the fan on the microwave. Yeah. So it's baking. It's baking, y'all. It's baking. Uh, a baking, not bacon. I wanted to say that. So yeah, how's everyone's week going? How's everyone's Sunday? I hope your Sunday's going well. I turn off mine when I move into my apartment. It's too annoying. I know, right? But then we gotta keep it on. What if there's a fire, Phyllis? The alarm on my house goes off anytime we open the oven, right? Because it's so sensitive now. Like any smoke, like anytime it smells smoke, it'll go off. Dom's handling it back there, so that's why I'm sitting here like this. But if it starts going off a little bit, then I'm gonna have to turn on the fan or something. But yeah, I had a so weekend. Aw. Well, I hope it gets better. Yeah, January. You know what? It's okay because January be so. Like I feel like January is kind of like the down. Like it's when everything kind of slows down. Dom, the part time firefighter, right? Well, it's gonna go like you see. It's gonna keep going off. Watch. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta help him. Hold on a second, y'all. Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay, now it's done. Oh, and then there's I don't know what that is that just flew in here. All right, so yeah, these fire alarms are very sensitive. It goes off very frequently. And I think a fly. How is there a fly in December? Like, why are there little bugs here? I live alone. I'm a student, so I don't cook often. Oh, okay. I didn't know that you're a student, Phyllis. So school, did school start for you too, Phyllis? I know you. I think Phyllis, you're in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or somewhere in the Europe, or maybe I'm wrong. You could let me know. But did school start for you guys this week? Because it started for us this week in Canada. There's something in here. Okay, you know what? Today's just gonna be that day. It's gonna be that day where everything's kind of all over the place. But my hair is all today. You see the gear. I'm just trying to make it happen, and I'm trying to get whatever that thing is that's flying in here. I'm in the mood when I'm ready for spring. I can't take the cold no more. Me too. Me too. I will say though, I must say it's not as cold here as it is in other parts, especially where you're from. I know it's very cold and I know it was snowing. I think y'all had a snowstorm like last week. We haven't had snow here at all, period, since like last year. Yeah. Yes, I live in Sweden. I'm a nursing student. School started for me last week. Oh, okay. Good luck with nursing school, Phyllis. It is not easy. It is not easy at all to be a nurse. So kudos to you, man. I know y'all be working hard. Like nursing school is not for the faint of heart. Like it's a lot to study. You're practically a doctor, to be quite honest with you. Might as well be at that point, right? Because actually, I don't know if you know this, and maybe it's like that in other countries, but in Canada, nurse practitioners can actually start not prescribing things, yeah, but I think they can see people like patients. They can see patients and stuff now here in Canada, at least in BC. Hey Tyra, welcome to the chat. Um, I'm hoping to buy some at-home fitness equipment or something to give me something to do. Yes. You might need to like an indoor bike, yeah, because it's cold. When it's cold, it's really difficult to go out and to do different exercise. I know some people do it. A lot of people do, extracurriculars outside when it's cold, but some people can't handle the cold, right? So it's hard to be outside like that. But yeah, what I was saying, yeah, nursing is a really good field to go into. It's so necessary and so needed, and you can actually travel to so many different countries because we don't have enough nurses to take care of us. So it's a really good field, Phyllis. I'm really happy for you and wish you the best with your schooling and everything. And also the other ladies, whoever else is in school, good luck to y'all, man. I know y'all doing y'all thing. It is not easy being a student. It really isn't easy. And my hat's off to you guys. And hopefully we have a great semester. My job interview is this week. Let's hope I do well and get a job. Ooh, okay, little mama, I'm pray for you. I hope you do well and get a job too. It's so hard, like, right? Like job interviews, I hate job interviews. Like I feel like job interviews, like every time I have to do one, even though I have the skills, I have the qualifications, I just hate talking about myself like that, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like they be asking you the most. Congratulations at Phyllis. I know, right? I think that's so dope that she's a nursing student. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Hey. Yes, it's hard. Nurses in Sweden does a lot of stuff considered doctor's job, but want to be there to take care of more Black people in the future. Yes, I think that's such a great, admirable thing to do. And we need more people in the medical field. There's not enough. There ain't enough of us. And I feel like we're definitely underrepresented. And also people don't know how to care for us. I'm telling y'all, we got a lot of topics we're going to discuss in the future. People don't know how to care for us. And there's a lot of, you guys already know, there's a lot of like elements to it. And it's pretty much like, colonization, racism, all that stuff, right? And biases and stereotypes. And unfortunately, when you have that kind of medical system and you live in that medical system, it is hard for you as a person of color to get good care. I'm going to say it's okay. You can, but you have to be careful who you receive care from because sometimes they don't listen to you and you have to advocate a lot. And we need more people in that field. I've always been saying that from the longest time. Whoever can do nursing, medical, whoever can get into the healthcare field, please do it because, our generation needs it. And yeah, and the Black mortality rate, again, is really high, especially when it comes to like medical issues, prenatal. When I looked at stats once, I was shocked. It's like we're more likely to die because we don't do preventative care. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's just a lot. We're gonna talk about it one day. Tyra says she's finishing her homework. Yes, getting them books, girl, getting them books. Thank you. There's a lot of Black women in my class who also think like me. I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm glad we're breaking the mold. And I've also like seen a lot of nurses on TikTok. I follow them. Um, I love nurse. Like a lot of my family members are nurses. So my mom was in nursing. I'm telling y'all, like it's a really good field to get into. Almost 70 of my classmates are Blacks. Amen. And I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy because we need to be represented. A lot of people a lot of people underestimate the power of representation. I'm telling y'all, it's powerful. So kudos to you, Phyllis. I'm so happy for you. And for all the other ladies in school, keep getting them books, get them grades, get them coins, little mama. You're gonna get that job. And I'm gonna pray that, we all hit our successes in 2025. So all right. I'm going to start today's topic. It's already 10 minutes in. I also wanted to say, if you haven't had the chance, this is just a call out or a call to action. Thanks, Romy and everyone. Thank you, little mama. Um, a call to action. If you haven't joined our Abracadabra Connect Discord chat channel, please go in the description box below and you can join. If you're a subscriber of mine, you can just join for free. You'll just have limited access, but I want this community to be big for us to kind of like help each other and connect with each other. So if you're interested in connecting with like-minded individuals, please definitely join the network. And I'm starting to do a lot of watch parties. I did one on Squid Game last week. I might do Singles Inferno, y'all. Has anyone watched Singles Inferno? It looks a little interesting. And I'll also take your recommendations as well if you guys want to do a watch party for a certain movie or TV show. And we'll also have different games and activities going on, especially in the month of February. So, yeah, if you haven't had a chance to join, please join our Abracadabra network. It is an extension of Rome with Romy. And that is my call to action for today. So, let's continue to our part two. Hold on, Phyllis, you said something. Let me see what you wrote. You said, when I go to the hospital, I don't see a lot of black nurses, only doctors. And that, yeah, and I think that it's good to have a balance of both too, because when you have nurses, because nurses are the first ones that you see. You always see the nurse before you go to the doctor, right? And sometimes if the nurse doesn't take you seriously, then it's difficult for you to even see the doctor, right? If they dismiss you. And I know that's not a problem just for people of color, because I know a lot of white people go through it too. However, what I will say is that people of color definitely experience it at a higher rate of being dismissed, symptoms being dismissed, misdiagnosis, everything. And it starts with the nurse, like, because when you get to the hospital, first thing they do is you see a receptionist, and then you got to see the nurse first and the doctor, unless you have a specialist doctor appointment. But it depends. If you're in the ER, definitely you have to see the nurse first and then the doctor, right? So yeah, it's so good that you're going to nursing. Tyra said, "Yeah, the Squid Game ones was fun last night. It was, wasn't it? I like watching those kind of shows, and honestly, like I'm so happy about that because yeah, it's I like watching those shows, and it's hard to watch them alone because sometimes I want to talk to people and be like, "Oh, that girl did this, or that man did that, or this is what happened," and have some commentary. So we're definitely gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna do it again next week for Squid Game, but I might do Singles Inferno. But let's continue Squid Game because we gotta finish season 1 and 2. And then I'll see what I can do in between that. Some Asians even feel more comfortable with black nurses. Yeah, because we're POC. I mean, even though we have our little disagreements and stuff, sometimes we do prefer to be with someone who's also a POC. You said, "Girl, I was up to 6 a.m. watching that show. I don't like the violence, but it's very violent, but it's so interesting. I'm telling you, like, it is like it's one of those shows where it's like it's very deep. It goes into like social issues in Korea, and then it just does it in such a violent way, and it kind of shows you humanity and how people kind of like, if you were put in that situation, what would you do? You know what I mean? Like, would you do this or that? Like, it kind of like makes you think a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot. So yeah, it's a really good show. All right, let's continue. Part two. All right. So, part two of what we discussed last week, we discussed people pleasing in different cultural expectations. We went over what is people pleasing. And then I think the last story I did was about who the teacher in Korea who passed away because she was overextending herself and people pleasing in Korea. We went over Japan and Korea. So now we're going to continue with the career part, and then we're going to go to family, finances, and relationships. And it's not going to be too long. Can we watch Love is Blind Germany? That shows whoa, 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 whoa. There's a Love is Blind Germany. Okay, hold on. Tyra, girl, go study, do your homework. But you can definitely lurk and catch the replay. Whoa, there's a Love is Blind Germany? Okay. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna add that to y'all gonna have me going off every week. But that's good though. Like, all right. So what we gonna do is we'll do Love is, you know what? We'll finish Squid Game, but I do want to do Love is Blind. So I might do that midweek actually. I might do that midweek. We'll see. I might do that midweek because I kind of like to watch shows in the middle of the week and also the weekend. Okay, I'll work out a schedule for us to do our watch party on the Discord. Um, but it's gonna be fun. I might do twice a week. I might only because I love watching shows. Um, yeah. All right, let's continue. So, let me get to where I was before. We went over the teacher. Yeah, the teacher who, unfortunately passed away. And then, hold on a second. Let's continue here. All right, here we go. All right, that was the last thing I talked about. Now, we're going to talk about how Korea wants to raise the working hours. So, we talked about last week about the teacher who passed away and the pressures of the teachers in the school system because the parents and the students are literally bullying teachers to unalive themselves. And so that goes into overwork and people pleasing because, again, you have a society where you're not allowed to speak up, you're not allowed to give your opinion, you're not allowed to express yourself in different ways. You have to do what you're told. And that is essentially people pleasing because people pleasers are praised and those who go against the status quo are shunned. Now, we're going to go into an article. It's called Asia's Most Overworked Country Wants to Improve Work-Life Balance by Raising Work Hours. So basically, it's like counterproductive. They want to do a work-life balance, but then we're going to raise the hours. Y'all going to read this. And this was written in 2023 by Hanako Montgomery. I believe it's a Vice article. So they said in South Korea, work-life balance, or rather the lack of it, has been subject of heated debate after the government recently proposed raising the maximum working hours from 52, y'all, they work 52 hours a week to 69. Let's stop there. So in the West, our average working hours are 40 hours a week. That's it. Usually anything over 40 is overtime. And anything under 30 is part-time. So part-time is between 35, I believe 25 to 35, if I'm not mistaken. And then anything 40 and above, 40 is the max. Korea, they work 52 hours a week. So last week when we said that lady did that 100 hours of overtime, I think she did 180 hours of overtime, something like that. I didn't realize it's not a 40-hour work week for her because it might be a 50-hour work week for her. So I don't know how they're doing all these overtimes. And so now we get into Korea where their working hours, minimum wage, not minimum wage, they're out like weekly working hours, 52 hours a week. And now the government wants to raise it to 69. Now, most of you know that the government right now is in shambles. President Yoon is in hiding. He's getting his little food delivered to him. He's literally holed himself in somewhere so that the police won't take him because he doesn't want to get impeached and he doesn't want to go through an investigation. It's real out here in Korea right now. What, 35 part-time? Lots of us in Sweden work sometimes 35, 40 max. Yeah, 35. Some places they do 30 to 35 part-time, if I'm not mistaken. Anything over 40 is full-time, but I could be wrong. Hey, CFT, how are you? Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I am doing well. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm showing up for y'all. I'm showing up for y'all. But I'm not. Wait, CFT, you be monitoring and making sure I get my self care. So don't worry. I'm not too under the weather where I can't come on live. If I was really, really, really bad, I would not have come on live. So yeah, they do work 52 hours work weeks to 69. So now with the president leaving, hey, at the Dub Studio, I didn't even see you come in. Hey, sis, did you say they wanted to be 69? Yeah, girl, 69 hours a week. I sure did. I did. I was. It says it right here, 69 hours a week. Thank you, sis. I am gonna feel better soon. I just need to take some more Buckleys and stuff, but so far I'm okay. Girl, they want to make it 69 hours a week. 69 hours a week. That is insanity. And that's the president who's holed up right now, that they're trying to get him out, but he doesn't want to leave. So Unfortunately, there's nothing they can do about it right now. Please, can you talk about how Chinese men 35 plus are getting hired for jobs? It's crazy over there. Yeah, I'm going to do a China series. Right now, I'm just going through, because the reason why I'm doing this people pleasing one is because I had already recorded some videos that you guys saw I posted, and I have to finish the series, and then after that I'm going to do a dating series, and then I'm going to talk about different things. But on the lives, actually, I can talk about different subjects and stuff, but it'll be talked about soon, especially about marriage in China and them marrying out, them getting hired. I'll talk about different Asian countries too. So yeah, so in early March, South Korea's labor minister laid out the framework for this plan, which has been under review since last year. So this article was written in 2023, so in 2022 that's when they tried to revise it. Raising the cap on overtime would provide employees with greater flexibility, he claimed. So basically they're saying, "Hey, right now we have a cap on overtime, but we're going to raise the cap." The government has also said raising maximum work hours was meant to allow seasonal workers, such as delivery workers, factory workers, and builders, to legally work and earn more when they're most in demand and take more time off seasons. This is crazy. Let me tell y'all why. Okay. While I lived in South Korea, y'all know Kupang, right? There was a strike. I remember. That was right before I left. And Coupang drivers went on strike. So they're similar to Amazon. It's like the Amazon of Korea. And yeah, go ahead, little mama. Don't worry. You can always catch a replay too. And so they went on strike because one, they were worked to exhaustion. Coupang drivers were like they were being taken out because one, Korea, a lot of apartments, especially the older ones, do not have elevators. So they had to climb up and down. That's number one. Number two, they had to work obscene hours. So early in the morning until late in the evening, no breaks sometimes. Three, they have to deliver things exactly on time. If you're late, that's on you. Like they literally do not tolerate lateness or tardiness. So it's like everything had to work in a certain order. And a lot of coupon drivers were passing out and passing away. And so now they're saying, "Oh, like this is going to give them more time to deliver." And all the factory workers, no, it's just going to make them more exhausted, because now you're removing the cap on overtime, which means that bosses and companies are going to expect more from these employees, like their workhorses or mules. And so this is the way that it's going. They said, but following the widespread backlash from labor unions and young workers, the government backtracked on its plan about a week after proposing it. So they literally was, okay, ooh, it's not going to work, so let's revise this. "I think working more than 60 hours a week is too much," President Yoon Suk Yeol said. That's the same president that's getting impeached, during a cabinet meeting at the presidential office on May 16th. That was in 2023. Yoon, who suggested people should be allowed, listen to this. Yoon suggested people should be allowed to work 120 hours a week while campaigning on a pro-business platform last year. So he said, this is the ex-president right now, or the president that's soon to be ex-president. He said people should be allowed to work 120 hours a week. How? They're already working 52 hours a week. How can they make that? How? And so he said the government needed to communicate with the public by listening closely to various opinions of workers, and especially the opinions of the MZ generation, referring to millennials and Gen Z. And so, according to labor unions, which obviously they're against it, the government's proposal would only exacerbate the demanding work culture many South Koreans grapple with. The country is known for overworking, or for working the most of any developed nation, according to the latest Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, that's OECD. In 2021, South Koreans worked an average of 1,915 hours a year, nearly 200 more than the OECD average. So they worked almost 1,915 hours a year. Neighboring Japan, also notorious for its tough work culture, averaged 1,607 hours. They are overworking Japan. And imagine, remember last week I talked about the people that were passing away because they were working too much overtime, and they started developing, either they unalived themselves or they had like really bad health issues. And so They're outworking Japan, and Japan is bad. That's insane. Workers in the US on average clocked 1,791. So, matter of fact, US, hold up, stop. We thought it was just an Asian problem of overworking. No. America, you got a problem too. You have a problem too, America. 1,791. So, let's compare the three. US, so Korea, 1,915 hours a year. US, 1,791 a year. Japan, 1,607 hours. That means that how the heck is US working more than Japan? And we saw the effects of what's happening in Japan. I don't even want to know what's going on in the US and Korea. But guess what? We're going to talk about it because it's in here. Phyllis said, I heard a lot of people faint in the subway and die. I don't know if it's true. It is true. I don't know if it necessarily in the subway or trains, but yes, they in Korea, I can attest for Korea, it was not only Coupang but other delivery drivers, especially Coupang at the time. There were people who were overworking themselves to death and just collapsing because they were working so hard. And that's the thing. Death by overwork, we're going to talk about that right now. The article's continuing. Death by overwork, a phenomenon first widely reported in Japan, like I said, has also spread to South Korea. And we can see it's going to spread to America. We're going to talk about it. It will make it legal to work from 9 a.m. to midnight. 9 a.m. to midnight for 5 days in a row. The Korean Federation of Trade Unions said in a statement in response to the government's proposal of raising weekly working hours. There is no regard for workers' health or rest. I agree with that. How the heck can you work 9 a.m. to midnight for 5 days? That is insanity. And they said perhaps counterintuitively, the proposal was meant to help solve the fertility crisis currently plaguing South Korea, which has the world's lowest birth rate. Are they getting paid a lot for no? Usually no. Some companies, it really depends. And that's what I'm saying, because even in America, what happens is some companies, they will pay you overtime and some won't. Some won't. And some will promise you, oh yeah, we're going to pay you overtime, but they don't. How could you pay that much overtime? And the conditions were terrible. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to continue. Allowing workers to accumulate more overtime hours in exchange. Listen, okay? I'm glad you brought it up. Phyllis. Listen to this. Allowing workers to accumulate more overtime hours in exchange for time off later. So they don't get paid. They just get more time off later. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me close this window. It's a little loud. Sorry about that. So they said allowing workers to accumulate more overtime hours in exchange for time off later could give people longer breaks to start or care for families, the government says. So basically they're saying, hey, we have a baby problem. So we are going to let you work this much overtime. And so later you're going to get all that time back when you take off and you get your wife pregnant or your husband and you are expecting a baby. This is insanity. That doesn't work. What? That later is when they die. Exactly. A lot of people, I'm telling y'all, a lot of people retire and they don't even see retirement. I done told y'all a couple lives ago how my one of my professors passed away right when he was about to retire. CFT said that's why capsule hotels are booming and making it easier for workers. You don't ever have to go home. You can be closer to the office. It's tragic. That's what they're trying to do. You're so right, CFT. They're trying to do that. They're doing capsule hotels, and now they're trying to bring back workers, having lodging at the workplace. They're trying to bring that back. So people, like during the industrial era, that's what they would do. They would have lodging in the workplace. And so people wouldn't have to go home. They could just, stay at work. And they do that in China too. A lot of the factories, they have live-in places, accommodations for their workers, because a lot of the workers come from outside in the rural areas. So that's what they're trying to bring back, y'all. We don't talk about this. This is just about people pleasing. Wait until we get into other stuff. I'm telling you. It's crazy. It's insane. So this is, they said women's group note that without societal change, a new policy would unfairly affect working mothers. They point to South Korea's male-dominated society in which many women are expected to shoulder the burden of childcare and homemaking. Yep. Deb Studio said a lot, if not all, companies in the US refuse to pay people overtime, especially if you are a contracted worker with benefits. That's how they guilt you into not paying you for overtime. Yep. I agree at the Deb Studio. That's exactly what's happening at Amazon. Let's segue a little bit to Amazon. I don't even have them here, but I got to talk about Amazon. So right now, Amazon workers are going on strike. And that's because a lot of them are contracted. So they're not actually Amazon employees, they're contracted by Amazon. So because they're contract employees, they don't get benefits and they don't get paid overtime. But they're still expected to carry the same duties as an employee. So you can see how that works, right? And that's why they're going on strike, because they're being treated unfairly. Yep, the contractors do not get the same treatment. They don't, but they are expected to do the same job. Ain't that crazy? So that's how they get that's the loophole right now. Is they'll hire you as a contractor so they don't have to pay you overtime. Imagine. And a lot of people are taking that. Why? Because where else are they going to work? And this is why I say education is so important. I gotta talk about it right now. This is why I'm always preaching about education. But that's why they want to take it away. Because a lot of people are starting to get, like, a lot of companies are taking advantage of these workers. They don't want them to be educated. They don't want them to know there's better out there. And they want them to be stuck. So they want them to work in those kind of positions, in those situations, so they have the power and they can pay you less so they can make more. It's just crazy. Amazon workers work crazy hours and deal with rude customers all the time. Yep, they do. They do. They do. And they are struggling because they have this prime delivery, you know, and they're supposed to deliver things as fast as possible, but most of the times they can't because it's unsustainable. But then again, the people making the money at the top don't care. I'm being honest. They don't care about the people at the bottom. You can clearly see that. Because any company that would have you work contract and make you do all those overtime hours and not pay you, they don't care about you. I'm just being honest. I have to be real. They don't care about your well-being. They just care about the bottom dollar. And they're just like, so what? We've known that they've had horrible conditions, but they won't change it. I don't know why they're not changing it. And it's not just Amazon. There's a whole bunch of other companies that do that too. So, yeah. So let's talk about Amazon. It is very unrealistic. It's just like Coupon. Coupon has the same system. And then I was talking about the delivery drivers that were getting, they were passing out and passing away. It's very unsustainable. Americans and Japanese take far less time off, but Europeans say they're more vacation deprived. So this is another article. All right, we're going to get into it. They said nearly 2 in 3 workers around the world are vacation deprived, according to a new report published by Expedia. Yeah, Phyllis, I agree with you. I have to cancel my my Prime, to be quite honest with you. It's bad. It's getting bad now. And they're charging a lot. You guys should watch Lovely T had did a video about that, by the way. So it's something interesting. She did a really good video, Lovely T at Lovely T. Y'all should watch her video on that. She did a really good a really good synopsis of what's going on. They said 84% of Germans and 69% of French respondents say they feel they don't have enough time off. And that's despite respondents from both countries taking the most vacation days. So German and French people take the most vacation days, but even they said they don't have enough time off. The survey of more than 11,500 workers, Americans, take the least time off per year. How is that possible? America, we got a problem. Sorry about that. America, you have a problem. Followed by Japan. So America is overworking Japan and not taking enough vacation days? That is insane. I thought Japan was the worst. No, South Korea is worse, then America, then Japan. But then we like to think that, it's only Asian countries that overwork, and they be telling you, Americans are lazy. Please, the statistics are not saying that. Statistics are not saying that. Yep, most of the orders don't come on time. I'm telling you, at the Dutch studio, you're right. They don't. They don't. It's just promises to make people pay extra for a service that they're probably not going to get anyways. Let's be real. But back to what I was saying. People like to say, Americans are lazy and they don't work hard enough. Why are the stats saying they don't take enough vacation days? How is that possible? Why are they saying that Americans are working more working hours? How is that possible? Please let me know. So what propaganda are we listening to, y'all? Don't listen to the German and French. They are the most entitled Europeans. Well, it says it in the article. It says they get the most vacation time. They take the most, but yet they're complaining they don't get enough. In America, your vacation time is a joke. It will often get denied by your boss. Thank you. And at the Dep Studio, that's my point. People want to say Americans are lazy and they don't work, but according to the stats, Korea's overworked. America's number 2. Number 3 is Japan. How is that possible? So let me know who's lazy. Please. We gonna put that business out there. I'm reading the stats. They said only 53% of Japanese say they feel vacation deprived compared to 65% of Americans. And it shows that while vacation deprivation rates have decreased in many parts of the world, the feeling is at an 11-year high in the US. You're not taking enough time off. Americans are not taking enough time off. That is insane. Okay. And they also said that despite most workers indicating they feel vacation deprived, respondents from nearly every location admitting to letting some of their annual leave lapse. So they're not taking their leave anymore. But I'm going to tell you what country is. I was shocked. Not all Asian countries do not take their time off. Hong Kongers, they plan their leaves and they take their vacation days. They don't allow a single day to go unused. That's the way to do it. Hong Kong was the only location where workers said they plan to take more time off than they're given. So they take extra days off, as they should. In 2024, 15% of Hong Kongers plan to take 31 vacation days, exceeding the average allotted of 25.5 days. And they said that Singaporeans also take time off. So this article ends here. How are Americans doing? Because the way that the media is telling us, that's what I'm saying. Don't always go by what the media is telling you, because outside in reality is a different fact. They are saying that Americans are lazy and that we need immigrants to take the jobs. I am the daughter of immigrants, so before anyone comes for me, not y'all on the chat, I'm talking about other people. If they come for me and say, oh, you're talking bad about immigrants. No. I'm the daughter of an immigrant and I'm married to one. So I'm not saying anything that is not factual. Sick time is a joke too. Girl, they won't even take sick leave? That's crazy. Well, I knew it was a joke because mat leave is a joke to me. I was like, how you only get 3 months off? Like, that's insane. Not even that. Some people only get 6 weeks off. Girl, this is great. Yeah. No, because I want to tell them, whoever's watching this on the replay, they like to say that Americans are lazy. And I'm trying to see where, because the stats are showing me otherwise. It is showing me that Americans not only work as the second country that works the hardest, right behind Korea. That is insanity. Korea. Or worked in Korea, I'm telling you, they are on another level. And the fact trailing behind, I worked at a hospital, they would not let us take sick leave, especially during, I'm assuming you're going to say during the C-19. I'm going to read the rest of what you're saying, the Dep Studio, but I'm not. Where is the laziness? So that leads me to believe two things. Either they're manufacturing the job market and making it harder for people to get really good jobs, and then making it seem like you don't want those jobs because they're low paying, or they're not reporting the facts and they're just trying. How are you lazy when you're the second most hardest working country in the world? You overwork and you don't get vacation days and you don't get sick time. How is that possible? I'm saying y'all are lazy, but I don't see it. Anyway, let me continue, because I'm gonna show y'all why it's not what it seems. So don't let people fool you and tell you, oh, we need these people to come take immigration. I am a proponent of all that. My thing is that if we're talking about people pleasing, and we're talking about how the work economy is built for people to be people, I do. and most of you do on the chat. If you don't, you're probably from a collectivist society. But if you're from an individualistic society and they tell you that, oh, it's only collectivist society where people pleasing is there at work, in America especially. Now, in other countries in Europe, that's probably not the case. In Canada, most likely not the case. It's not. We get a lot of vacation time off. But in the US, it is the case. The the panorama. Yep, the panoramic. They won't let you take time off. That's crazy. A lot of African American women work harder. They do. They do. But people don't want to talk about that. They want to make it seem like y'all are lazy. I don't understand because I don't see any laziness here. Of all the countries in the West, Americans probably work the most. And that's what, no, it's not probably. Statistics said they do. The stats say again, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to keep repeating it. Korea first, America second overworked country. Most overworked countries, Korea, America, Japan. America's above Japan. So this is not good. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. How is that possible? Anyway, we gonna continue, y'all. Girl, wait, hold on. Lil Mama said that's why I'm working fully remote until I'm forced to go back in person. Is the only way to get more time at home. That's the fact that you even have to do that. That's crazy. And they're trying to take it away, by the way. Google, I think, was it Google that took it away recently? I believe it was Google. I want to say Google or Amazon. I don't want to be wrong, but one of the big companies, one of the big tech companies is making people come back to work, return back to work, return to office. Yeah. Girl, I was working in a hospital. American work culture is hard. It is second to Korea. I'm telling y'all. I know I keep repeating myself like a record player, but I'm in shock right now because I didn't expect America to be number 2. I really didn't expect America to be number 2. I thought it was going to be Korea, Japan, maybe another country, and then maybe America. But I did not expect America to be number 2. That's crazy. Lil Mama says, like, I went on a whole vacation while working remote. I cut into vacation, but it's okay. I would have never gotten that much time off realistically. This is crazy. This isn't America has a problem. America has a problem. And it said that the vacation deprivation rates have decreased in many parts of the world. But in America, it's 11-year high. That means that for 11 years, you guys have not been taking your vacation days. That's alarming. CFT said with Elon's influence, he's trying to make it happen ASAP. Absolutely, he is. He is. He is. Phyllis said, I can never work in America. I will speak my mind to my boss and quit. You can't. Especially if you've been living in Europe, going to America is just going to feel like going backwards. But Elon, yeah, he's trying to do a whole bunch of stuff. And he's meddling in so many political countries' affairs. And the reason why is because he wants that. He wants people to work more. Americans are already overworking, and they're calling you guys lazy as if you're not working hard enough when the statistics say you are. I don't get it. Now, let's continue. The next article, y'all, this one is a bad one. It talks about, and look, I know ain't nobody gonna sponsor me after this, but that's okay. I got to tell y'all the truth. I'm not gonna get brand deals from banks after I talk about this because we exposing people tonight. People pleasing, let's expose. Let's expose. In Sweden, our bosses are equals because we're both workers. Same in Canada. Debts are too high. Girl, high is not even the word. Astronomical. Lil Mama says he has a ton of young man followers that look up to him, eat up everything he says just because he's rich. Yeah, that's the new motto. And the funny thing is, most of the people who look up to him are probably lower class they're way lower class, but then they want to be like him, so they're following him. But what they don't understand is he's not for them. It's not gonna work for their benefit. It's gonna work against them, but they don't see that. It's so counterintuitive, but I digress, y'all. Because let's get into this. How Bank of America ignores its own rules meant to prevent dangerous workloads. The unaliving of a former Green Beret sparks outcry from the all-nighters and 100-hour weeks that grind down young investment bankers. It's not only Asia. People pleasing is not only Asia. It's not. And that's the fact I'm trying to drive home, is that this culture needs to stop. People pleasing is not working. It's not working for none of us. None of us. They, how do they tolerate it? They have to. They gotta work. Where they gonna go? Where they gonna go? Phyllis, that's an excellent point. But you gotta remember, America is built differently. Canada too, but America on another level. So one, some of these students got to pay back their student loans. Their student loan debt is probably very high, especially if you're a banker in finance. You're working on Wall Street. That means you went to a good school. Chances are, unless your parents are rich, you got to work. You got to pay back that loan. And some people want to keep that lifestyle. Is the lifestyle. You know what I mean? And America has a hustle culture. You got to grind until the wheels fall off. Hold on a second, y'all. I got to blow my nose really quick. Just 1 second. I'm going to mute y'all. All right, sorry about that, y'all. That was so gross, but sometimes it just comes. Anyway, yeah, you gotta grind. You have to hustle hard, hustle culture. You gotta make it. You cannot. This is the thing. It's people. I'm telling you, it's a culture, and it is also a people pleasing element to it, because you want to get to the next level, and in order for you to get to the next level, you have to you have to work hard. So how it works is this: you start off, and hold on a second. Yeah, you start off, and then usually you start off entry level, especially when you're working in investment in those kind of markets or any type of field where you're just fresh out of college. You start off entry level, and then in order to get to the level that you need to be, and usually entry level, it's not really well paid. You don't get paid that much, so you're struggling, right? A little bit, but you're making something. And then after that, you go from junior to senior and then go up and up and up. Now, the thing is that in order for you to go up and up and up, you have to please your bosses. They have to know you. They have to like you. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. It's not meritocracy. They like to tell you it is, but it ain't. Most of the time, it ain't. Have y'all ever seen people get raises and they get into better positions and you're like, how did that person get that position? It's because they are not, it's not about what they know. It's about who they know. It's about if the boss likes you or not. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Because the hardest working people are not the people you're going to see on top. It's always the ones who aren't. They're the ones you see on top. Remember, you got to work, still keep a roof over your head, pay past debt. Yep. And then try to enjoy life at the same time. Make it make sense. It can't happen. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You have to keep going. And so that's why for Europeans, they don't understand that, especially people in Europe and other countries, they don't understand it because they don't have that kind of system. But North America does. Canada does to a certain extent, but America really does. And the only thing that saves Canada is that we're a socialist, democratic country. So we have a balance a bit, but the government is basically the government owns everything kind of, and we don't have we have a lot of monopolies. We're starting to feel it now, but in America it's worse. It's mostly like you're just working. That's it. You're just a workhorse. That's your life. You just work and pay bills and pay debt. That's it. That's all. That's your life. And then if you get to the age of retirement, you better hope that your health is there, or else you're going to need to go to a hospital and get health care. And then your insurance denies you because they're like, oh, you have pre-existing conditions. They find every way possible to not let you get that health care. And it's like the survival of the fittest for real, on steroids. And so, again, let's continue. Bank of America. We got a problem. And it's not just Bank of America. They said that, let's see here. They have different stories of people. So we're going to talk about Yulia Lavish was thrilled to accept a job offer at Bank of America. while a student at Smith College, that's one of the Ivy League schools, she quit in 2022 after 3 years in the Chicago office where senior bankers kept her and her teammates at their desk until 5 a.m. and instructed them to lie about their hours. Once she said she worked until 4 a.m. in the office and was on her way home in a taxi, only for her boss to request more changes for a proposal to a client and to leave a printed copy for senior staff to review later that morning. She asked the cab driver to turn around. They worked until 5 a.m. Phyllis said, sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but this makes me think America is the greatest country in the world for the rich. No, that's not offensive, Phyllis. It's the truth. It's the truth. How is that? How that's not offensive. Yeah. And CFT, you're right. Yep. You better hope you made enough money for your social security income will be enough for the time you hit. Yep. And they recently, CNBC had a whole bunch of retirees talk about what they wish they had done. And all of them literally said, I wish I had saved for retirement earlier. Because it's not enough. With this inflation, please. We got people in Canada. Hold on, before I continue. We got people in Canada, in my city, living in trailer homes. Not even trailer homes, in their RVs. They're living in their RVs and they're finding places to park and sleep at night because they cannot afford to live here anymore. Because pension's not enough. It's not enough. And so now they're going to these lots. But then guess what? The lots are kicking them out because they're like, hey, this is not property where you can live. That's why van life is popular now. A lot of seniors are doing van life. Why? Because they cannot afford it. They can't afford to keep up with the lifestyle. People are sleeping in cars right now. It is a big problem, y'all, all over the world. Globally. But I'm highlighting these places because the overwork culture is hard and it has a lot to do, again, with people pleasing. Because, again, Phyllis, you're right. Why are they doing this? Why? Because it doesn't make sense. Can't they just say no? People pleasing. It all comes down to it. You want to show your best. You want to do your best. I want to do everything. People pleasing, perfectionism, tied together. They're both tied together. Next, Roy Wang worked as a junior investment banker for the bank in Tokyo. So it's not just in the US that Bank of America is having an issue. He said he meticulously logged his overtime hours, but when human resources told his bosses he was working too much, a manager told him to report only as many as they were allowed by the bank's policy. So they're doing it under the table. I'm telling y'all, people are doing it. He said he continued to work for at least one all-nighter every week, saying it wasn't unusual for junior bankers to catch a few hours of sleep in the bathroom stall or a conference room. He left after his doctor flagged his cholesterol and other indicators had spiked to unhealthy levels. It affects your health. You will pass away. I'm sorry to say that to y'all. If you are overworking, please stop. I beg you. Because you will pass away eventually if you continue. Your body is not going to sustain that. Phyllis said people pleasing while the only benefiting are the boss and the rich. Exactly, because they want to show up. They want to be like, oh, I'm the best. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I want to do it. I want to be. I want to. And then you're just working yourself to death. Because that's what's going to happen. I'm telling y'all. It is going. It's real. We read it last week in Japan and Korea. They unalive themselves. But this time, this person saying that their doctor basically said, hey, you need to stop. Your cholesterol and your levels are getting, you're not sleeping. Your body is not regenerating. You need to sleep. The reason sleep is important, you need your REM sleep. The sleep cycles, they tell you that. It's important. Why? Because you regenerate your body. You need energy. How can you do that working overtime? You can't. Your brain needs time to rest. Your body needs time to regenerate and the new cells to come and develop. If you don't do it, that's where all these diseases and ailments come from. Along with an unhealthy diet, unhealthy environment, you're overworking. How are you going to survive? At the Deb Studio said, I see so much when I was in corporate America, they would deny overtime and force people to log in only 40 hours a week while working 50. Fine. Exactly. And then what? And then you're not getting paid. So what are you getting? Good job by your boss? And most of the time, most of the people who are workhorses don't even get the pay raises and they don't climb up the ladder that fast. Let's just be real. Those people are just used. People pleasers get used. I hate to say it. People pleasers get used and abused. And then they pass away, especially if they're overworking. And then what ends up happening? Oh, rest in peace. We'll send you a wreath, send your family the condolences, and then you get replaced next week with somebody else. It ain't worth it. It's not worth your stress. It's not worth your life. It's not worth it. An analyst on the Latin American finance team. So they went all over the world in this article. And y'all, this one I had to pay for it. I think it was in The Economist. I had to pay for it because I was like, this is so good. Finance team in the Latin American finance team in New York collapsed last year after working long hours, prompting his colleagues to call an ambulance to the office. Another New York banker, currently a vice president, checked into a hospital this year after he felt run down and sick from working around the clock. Yet he chose to continue fulfilling tasks and took client calls from his hospital bed. This is unhealthy. This is unhealthy and crazy. Crazy. Yes, Phyllis, you're right. We don't. North America, I'll add Canada to it. We don't live longer. How can you? How? I just said it to y'all. And I'm just talking. I'm passionate, y'all. That's why I'm talking like this. I'm not actually yelling at y'all. Just letting y'all know. But I just said, you're overworked. Your nutrition sucks because that's all they feed you. The soil sucks. They feed you overprocessed food with chemicals that are not good for you. You're breathing in bad air. And then it's like they want you to go. They don't want you to live long. Because if all of this stuff, your environment, your career, everything is stressing you out, how are you supposed to survive that? You can't. It's impossible. It is impossible. Then in May, they continue. So we heard about one that collapsed. They call an ambulance for him. Another one, he went to the hospital. He collapsed too, but then he started taking calls in his hospital bed. Then in May, a Bank of America associate passed away. He had been putting in over 100 hours a week to finish work on a $2 billion acquisition. He passed away, y'all. He did 100 hours a week because his boss told him, hey, make it happen. Get it done. And then he's like, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss. Put his life on the line for this, for $2 billion. And was that money going to go to him? Was that money going to go to him? He working this hard for other people to get richer. I don't know what the bonus is at Bank of America, but I don't think it's worth it. Because if I got to pull 100 hours a week and you making $2 billion, whatever I'm making, it ain't enough. And I'm doing all the grunt work. It's not an equal exchange. It's not an equal exchange. I'm going to read y'all comments later. I'm going to continue. Many described how superiors instruct junior bankers to ignore policies that limit working hours. These experiences clash with rules added a decade ago to protect bankers from being overworked. So basically, they have put rules in place to say, hey, these bankers are being overworked. They need to stop doing that. So we got to report overtime hours. And these bosses, instead of abiding by the rules, they're bending the rules and they're going under the table. They are treating these workers as if they have no type of how can I say it? I don't want to say the word slave because slavery was way worse than this. But I want to say that they are not treating these workers with respect. Let's just put it that way. The passing away of the person in May sparked a new public outcry over the bank's treatment of young employees and potential consequences of too much work. The experiences at Bank of America are echoed in banks across Wall Street, where long hours and deference to bosses' commands, no matter how unreasonable, are the norm industry-wide. I'm going to read that again. The experiences at the Bank of America are echoed in banks across Wall Street where long hours and deference to bosses' commands, no matter how unreasonable, are the norm industry-wide. People pleasing. Because when your boss says jump, you go, how high, boss, I could do it all. When you're supposed to say, no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. And guess what? I know some people are afraid of their job getting cut, but hey, man, it's not worth your life. I promise you it isn't. I promise you it's not worth your life. Because if you only have this one life to live and you're supposed to take care of your temple, and that job is requiring for you to do all of this work and you're not even getting paid for that work, it's never working. It was never worth it. It was never that serious. Never, ever, ever, ever. Sorry, y'all. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry about that. That was so gross. I know. Next. In jobs where entry-level salaries can reach $200,000, many bankers say they hesitate to raise concerns about their working conditions. It's the money. The money. The money is making them stay. Again, money, people pleasing. Two things. Now, rite of passage. They said each year, thousands of young people start entry-level jobs in investment banking, and they have a reputation for turning hard workers into millionaires. So that's their goal. Their goal is to be a millionaire. Like someone said in the chat, I don't remember who said it, but someone said these young men are looking up to Elon Musk. That's who they want to be. That's what they want to aspire to. So that's why they're doing all of these things. They are operating in people-pleasing behaviors because they want to attain the wealth and be at the top. But the gag is that if they get to the top, first of all, hopefully they don't pass away before they get to the top. But they won't get there. Usually it's hard to make it there. They make it very hard for you. Many of them say consistent bouts of working hours more than 12 hours days, at least 6 days a week, is not only mentally grueling, but hazardous to their health. They're working 12-hour days, 6 days a week. 6 days a week. Banks have attempted to reduce the time bankers spend working. And they said advances in technology have eased tasks, and some low-level work has been outsourced to countries with cheaper labor. But bankers can still put in as many as 120 hours a week in the thick of a project. That's unhealthy. That's unhealthy. They said some banks rolled out protected weekends to guarantee employees at least one day off a week, but many at Bank of America said the policies are frequently ignored by the managers. The managers are the problem. Middle managers, senior managers, they're the problems. Because remember, everything has to make them look good. So whatever work you do is going to reflect on them. And unfortunately, what happens is they put pressure on you as a junior. And then because that person is a people pleaser and also has a motive, economic motive, they're going to do it, even though it's unreasonable. And usually the people at the top, they don't know what the hell is going on at the bottom. They don't care. They just want the bottom line. Managers are the problem. I'm telling you, the managers are the issue. And they said that young employees didn't honestly report their work schedules because they wanted to prove to their superiors that they're willing to work hard, even if it meant working many more hours than company policies allow. That's what I'm saying. People pleasing. They want to prove that they can work hard. I want to prove to you my loyalty. I want to prove my worth to these rich people, to these rich companies, corporations, these giants, at the expense of your health. You don't want to say, I cannot take more work right now because it makes you look weak, she said. She is now working at a startup. She quit. Hold on. I'm going to read y'all comments after. Now, let's get to it. There's more. Moritz Erdhart, the Bank of America intern in London, passed away in 2013 after logging long hours at the office. The bank appointed a group to review all aspects of the tragedy, including whether employees were encouraged to work overly long hours or have been pushed into unhealthily competitive environments on the job, the journal reported at the time. This is in America. I'm not talking about Korea or Japan right now. I'm talking about America, the US of A. This is what's happening. The hard-nosed work culture at Bank of America and elsewhere on Wall Street again came under scrutiny after Louis Lukenas III, the Bank of America associate, died on May 2nd. He was the Greenbelt. Lukenas, who was 35 years old, had been working over 100-hour weeks for about a month, according to people working on his team. And thank you, Phyllis, for joining. I just saw that notification. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, sis. And according to the people working on his team, as the group finalized a $2 billion acquisition of Heartland Finance by UMB Bank, which was announced April 29th, he attended a celebratory dinner for the deal 2 days later. He passed away, before coming into work the following day. This man had a family, y'all. I remember when this first happened because I read up on him. This man had a family. He had, I think, 2 kids and a wife. He was a Green Beret, medals and honors. And he passed away at work because of overwork. This man survived tours of duty and he passed away because of overwork. Let that sink in. An autopsy found he passed away when a blood clot formed in his coronary artery. He was overworked to death. That's the bottom line. This is very sad. 35 years old, doing 100-hour work weeks for a month. This is what's happening right now. And if you think that this is just investment banking, this is trickling down to all other environments. Was it, I believe, who mentioned the nursing? Let me know who mentioned the nursing. I got to remember who it was. Someone in the chat said they were doing nursing, working long hours. This is happening in almost every industry. We just talked about Amazon. They're doing it everywhere. They want you to work hard. And again, because we're people pleasers, I would say myself involved too, because we're all struggling with that. It will say yes. Yes, boss, even if it's and you know, we have the precautions. We have the laws against it. HR says, no, you're not supposed to do it. But then we're like, oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. No, stop doing that. Don't do it. Don't do it no more. Please don't. Don't do it no more. When they tell you to do something unreasonable, say no. No. No, no, no. It'll get done when it gets done. That's it. That's all you can do. Because sometimes it's not worth it. I'm telling you, it's not worth your life. Junior bakers working with Lakena said they told coworkers they were exhausted and had been underreporting their hours to avoid human resources getting involved. They also said it was common practice on the team for bosses to assign work on Saturdays without requesting formal exceptions. Yep. You said overworked in HR as well. HR's no better. No, they're not. But those laws, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. HR is for the company. We already know that. 100%. So whoever's doing HR, they're always going to be for the benefit of the company. However, what I will say is that whether HR is for the company or not is irrelevant. The thing is, you still have labor laws that protect you. There are still labor laws that protect you, regardless. So even if HR wants to go against you, they have to go through a process, right? So you can do a grievance. You can do a grievance against your job. There are a lot of ways to get around it. The thing is, people don't know about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, if your HR fires you because you decided not to work on a project, that's a grievance. You can actually take that to court. Now, this is where it gets, though. This is where the problem happens. You can take them to the labor board. The labor board will take time. Now, this is where the issue is. The issue is not that the laws can't protect you. The issue is how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go? Because it's going to take time and money. And if you already are living paycheck to paycheck, you're not going to have the resources to go up against your company. They have money the long way. So that's why people don't want to do it. It's not because the laws are not there. It's just because people don't want to go through that process, because it's a lot. It is a lot. But you can file a grievance against your company. Absolutely. They cannot fire you unjustly. It is no, you can prove that you were unjustly fired. You just have to keep trail, paper trail. You got to keep a paper trail. You got to keep a paper trail. I'm telling y'all, you got to keep a paper trail. If you find yourself in this situation and you say no, and then all of a sudden they start acting funny with you, they don't want to put you on projects, they start demoting you, and you can prove that it's because they're asking you to do something that's not only against or contravenes against the law, but it also contravenes against your well-being and labor laws, you can take up a claim against them. But the problem is the time and the money. But there are organizations that help with that. There are organizations out there that help with that and that will help you do it. So it's a matter of just knowing the laws and knowing like who's going to work, how the laws work for you. Because that's one thing I would tell y'all. And I'm going to read the rest of y'all comments. Don't worry. I'm going to read through them. But I want to finish this. Let me tell y'all something. Working and living in this country that I live in right now and in North America, what I have learned is that y'all listen up real quick, is that you got to use their laws against them, because the laws are there. You got to use it. You got to know how to record paperwork. And I'm like, I work in a union right now, as far as like I do side work. And I'm telling y'all, the one thing you tell people is keep a paper trail, CYA, cover your behind, and make sure you have a paper trail so you can prove what you're saying. And you can win. I'm telling y'all. But a lot of people don't want to go through that work. That's the problem. But it's there. Trust me. Many of people have won cases. They can't go against the paper trail. You gotta, every time you have a conversation with somebody, every time they're asking you to do something unreasonable, screen capture, screenshot. And if they tell you in person, if they say, hey, da 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 da, email them and be like, hey, as per our conversation, you said da 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 da. Make sure you have that in writing. Everything needs to be in writing. I'm telling y'all. Because let's say, for example, you work at the wealthy, the wealth investment firm, and they tell you, oh, you have to do overtime for this project. And let's say you cap the overtime hours and you're not willing to do it. And you say, no, I'm not going to do it this time. And you know, sometimes they be acting salty or whatever. Mid-managers want to be like, oh, that's okay. But then after that, they start getting aggressive and passive aggressive about it. I'm telling you, all you have to do is write an email and just be like, hey, after you have the conversation, hey, as per our conversation, I cannot work overtime, da 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 da. I'm telling you, and copy people in that email. You copy people. That's how you do it the corporate way. CC everybody, or blind copy if you don't want people to get exposed. If you scared, you don't even have to copy people, carbon copy. You could do blind copy. As per our conversation, unfortunately, I am unable to work overtime on this project. Write everything. I'm telling you, put everything in writing. BCC anybody you need to. Keep people in the loop. And I'm not saying it's because those people are going to do anything about it. They may or may not, but it's to cover your behind, because now when you take a grievance against them, you're like, hey, this is what happened. At this day and this time, he asked me to do that. The labor law says I can't do that. I'm not supposed to. And then the company's making me do it. Have the paper trail, take them to court, get you your money. I'm telling y'all, get you your money, especially if you're unjustly fired for no reason. Paper trail. I'm telling y'all, it will save your life. There are many a times where I had to keep a paper trail and I had to check a few people. Because I'm like, wait, that's not what that said. Because at this day and this time, this is what this said. Shut them right up. Yeah. Get them together. That's what the laws are there for. All right, sorry, I went on a tangent here. Let's continue. Now, the last part is do more with less. The strongest draw to working for a big investment bank is the money and the prestige. Again, you want to look good in front of society. Junior bankers are enticed to stick it out and eventually reach the coveted ranks of managing director, which can come with annual compensation of $1 million or more. Others aim to leave after a few years for even bigger paydays at private equity firms or hedge funds. So this is why they're doing this. because they want to make it. That's it. That's all. They want to make it. And so they're going to do any type of behavior to do it or to get there, to get to where they need to go. Now, I'm at 75 minutes. I'm just going to talk for a little bit more because I have a lot more about the people pleasing, y'all. They're so toxic, y'all. Yes, CAT, you're right. You're right. It's so toxic. It's so toxic. So toxic. And there was one more story talking about this girl that passed away at Ernest and Young. So it's not just Bank of America, Ernest and Young too. But she was from this happened in India, and she was being overworked, and then she had anxiety, sleeplessness, stress, and then she kept pushing herself because she thought she was going to make it. And then after that, management took full advantage of her, and then now she passed away. And the parents said there's a systemic issue that goes beyond individual managers and teams, and they have an overwhelming workload. So we're done talking about overwork right now. But I just wanted to bring it to y'all attention that I'm telling y'all, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because as time goes on, and if this is not nipped in the bud, I see it getting worse and worse and worse and worse, especially because they have contract workers now. They're making the environment more competitive to find jobs. And as many of you said, HR is not on your side. So then if people have that mindset, so they're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. Like, it's just crazy. And these managers are not being checked and reprimanded. They're actually being rewarded for making you over. We're going to get to people pleasing and family. And then a quick thing on finance. I have 77 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to stay too long. I promise y'all. AI is going to replace a lot of, that's what they want. They want to work you to death. So they could say, oh, you can't do the job anymore. So we have to replace you. Because right now they're replacing you with people from other countries, and then for cheaper labor. And then eventually they're going to replace you for not only cheaper labor, they're going to replace you with AI. That's how it works. I'm telling y'all. Hey, Monty, how are you? All right. Hold on. Let's get to. I'm scrolling down to the comments where I left. Okay. So, Lil Mama said, "You don't feel guilty." Yep. Don't feel guilty for leaving a job for your health. Do not. You're easily replaceable. They don't care about you. They don't. CFT said, for real, if you do live long in the US, you end up with a bunch of ailments. Forget about enjoying retirement. Instead, going to work all the time. You're now going to the doctor every other week. Yep. If you can afford it. And Medicare is not the best care. Most people, if they can't afford it, they go on Medicare. It's not the best. So, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. With little syphilis, yes, with little money and bills. Yep. It's not gonna work. Her creative mindset, great topic, Romy. I hope you feel better soon. I'm headed out, so I will catch a replay. Good night. Good night, her creative mind. Oh, well, you're gone already, but thank you for joining, sis, if you catch the replay. Tyrus said, shoot, you can be a millionaire by investing in the stock market and index funds with your income instead of overworking. Yeah, but people is the position. I have this much money. That's pretty much what it is, because there's other ways to make millions, but people want the prestige, basically, is my point. Alana, hey sis. Alana God's question said, but the managers get pressure. Phyllis said young people are not getting hired because old people don't want to, they can't retire. They don't have the money. They don't have the funds. Imani, hey, I'm just tuning in now. Hey, Romy, in August, a Wells Fargo lady died at her desk and her body was found 4 days later. Because she was overworked, so that's why I didn't highlight her story. But yep, she was found 3 days later and they didn't even know she was there. That's what I'm telling y'all. Nobody cares. Yep. You say your body starts to shut down after 8 hours. Oh my gosh. I'm not surprised. Tyra says even HR is still there to support the company. I noticed they aren't always. Yeah, that's what we just talked about. Yep. Alana said, girl, please, HR isn't any better. Overworked as in HR as well. HR is no better. I'm telling you, everybody going through it, man. The studio said, I think I had to get to the point where I realized that I had to trust God and be willing to lose my job for the sake of my health and well-being. Yes, that's the way to do it. I'm telling y'all, I'm sorry to say. And to have multiple streams of income, that's the new wave right now. Unfortunately, don't just depend on one income. Try to have your income in different places, and try to have multiple streams. I'm telling you guys, against no, they won't, because it takes a lot of time. Well, any and every industry is bad. All don't give a damn. Yeah, everyone's overworked, and even HR shouldn't be doing it. To be honest with you, um, Phyllis said, "Doesn't home and accident free legal clinics? Yeah, you may not have the best representation, but hell, it's better than nothing. In Canada, they have legal aid, and it's free. So there's that." CFT said, in a nutshell, these are toxic environment. These work environments are super duper toxic. Yes, absolutely. Especially if you work in a corporation where they don't value your worth, your time off. They don't value overtime. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Little mommy, you don't like AI? Really want to hire them. That's the paradox of you don't have enough work experience, but yet how are you supposed to get it while you're in school? But then they want you to have an X amount, like extreme amount of work experience. But in my personal opinion, I think they should have like what they used to, where you can internships, but they don't want to pay people. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Little mama said, but I will say, to get a job as a student in my exactly, that's what I'm saying. But why is it that? Why do we have to go above and beyond? And that's why who set the standard that we have to go above and beyond? What happens? Still do what you need to do. But the point is, they want to make more money off of you. They want you to work harder. They want you to work harder. That's all it is. Wi-Fi's back. Oh wait, no, not your Wi-Fi. Hold on, I think it's me. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Is the Wi-Fi better? Hold on. Hold on. Why is it not doing that? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Why is it doing that? Hold on, y'all. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm back. Can y'all see me? Okay. Is the Wi-Fi better now? Let me know, yes or no. Is the Wi-Fi better? Yeah. Let me tell y'all what happened. I turned my Wi-Fi off. That's what happened. I was using my data, and I guess my phone was like, nope, you used up your data. That's what happened. My bad, y'all. Yeah. Now I'm on Wi-Fi. Well, this whole time I was streaming on my data. Oh my gosh. Sorry, y'all. Okay, let's get through this part, and then I'm gonna end it up tonight. My bad, y'all. Y'all couldn't see me. Why didn't y'all tell me? It was when you said that you were like, "Oh, my Wi-Fi's bad," and then Phyllis said it too, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, hold on." I think, and then I just remembered. I was like, "Oh, I forgot to turn on my Wi-Fi." I'm sorry, y'all. I hope y'all heard me. I don't know how this stream's gonna turn out, but whoever heard it, heard it. Then it was rough that much. Y'all should have told me, man. Y'all should have told me. I'm here yapping away. Okay, well now you can hear me. Okay, 5 minutes ago. Okay, good. I could cut that chunk out. I was just reading questions and answering. No, it's not your. It was me. I forgot because I hate when my Wi-Fi interferes with other people's networks, and so I turn it off when I'm outside. But then I forgot to turn it on when I came back in. I'm sorry, y'all. It won't happen again. Now I remember. All right, let's get to people pleasing and family. This will be really short. I'm just gonna read an article. People pleasing and family. So we're gonna talk about in-laws, daughter in-laws and mother in-laws. Now, because we're doing this on Asian and Western culture, we're gonna take it to Korea. Y'all know I always like to take it to Korea because I have the personal experience living there, so I can give a lot of detail about this. Daughters in-laws versus mother in-laws. This was in the Korea Times journal. Around this time of year, so during the holidays, daughters-in-law around the country start to panic as they travel to their mother-in-law's houses to feed and serve their husband's family members, even dead ones. through ritual called chare. So basically, in Korea, during Solal, they have chare. So you have to go and my husband's parents don't do it because they are Christian, but a lot of like older Koreans or people who have the traditional Korean family mindset, they will have chare, which is like you go to the ancestral ground of your family and then you leave food for them, and you do like a ritual with them, basically like you leave food out and then it's like a whole ritual. I've never attended. I'm sure you guys have seen it in dramas. Major holidays continue to cause stress and anger for many housewives in Korea. Lil Mama said, "Isn't that the one where they chose the oldest son and they have to do it?" Yes, that's the one. My friends had to do it, so I was friends. I'm really good friends with a few Korean women, and they have to do it. Even some foreign women are. They have to help prepare the food. They do the same in Ghana. That's good to know, Phyllis. Yeah, because I'm not. I wasn't aware that they did it in other countries, but yeah, they do it. It's very, very popular, especially during the Solal, the Korean New Year. Was it Chuseok or Solal? One of them they have to do chare. I'll just say, let's see, it's Lunar New Year. Yeah, Solal. Major holidays continue to be a cause of stress and anger for many housewives in Korea. For them, the Lunar New Year holidays entail an endless series of kitchen chores that husbands rarely help with. Expectations. The Deb Studio said this might sound like a dumb question, but whatever happens to the food that they leave out in the graveyard, what happens when it goes bad? Oh, I don't know, sis. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that they just leave it for a little bit and then remove it. I'll just say that. I think they remove it, but they light candles and then they do a whole ritual. And then yeah, it's for the ancestors. Yeah, I think they take it back home and then I don't know if they eat it. I'm not sure. Maybe I should research that. I'll come up with an answer. Or if someone knows in the chat, you guys can let us know. But I'm not sure. In Ghana, they burn the food. I know they do it in Haiti too. In Haiti, I heard that they do feed the ancestors. But I think it's mostly tied to the voodoo religion. Yeah, it's a big thing. And holidays are when many housewives in Korea are made to feel like maids, said a 35-year-old mother of a toddler who preferred to remain anonymous. During the years I have been married, it never occurred to me to have some time to myself or take a vacation time during the Myeongjal, which is the holiday season. Like every year since 2009, she will travel with her family to be with her mother-in-law for the Lunar New Year. So in Korea, once you get married, it is not just Korea. That's like every culture, but especially in a collectivist culture like Korea. Once you are married, you are part of the husband's family, and people no longer have expectations for you to be with your original family or your birth family, right? So what usually happens is the father's family or the husband's family, sorry, they get all of the labor from you. Now, some wives, they do go to both families' houses, but usually what happens is the daughter-in-law is expected to help the mother-in-law with the new family. But it's a lot of work, y'all. It's a lot of work. And my mother-in-law, thank God, and she just messaged me, by the way, just now. My mother-in-law, she did not want me to have to learn that because she's just like, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I don't expect you to know all this. Like, it's great that you want to learn it and I can show you, but I just think it's too much. That's Dom's mom. Dom's mom's real cool, man. I'm telling y'all, like, she's one of, and I don't want to say that she's a special minority because I'm sure a lot of moms feel that way in Korea, but unfortunately societal expectations, a lot of mothers are traditional and they expect the daughters-in-law to do it. Even the foreign ones, some foreign daughter-in-laws have to do this. They gotta do this. They have to do it. And so this is stuff you gotta know. You need to know this. You need to know if you're gonna marry somebody in another country, especially in Korea, or like Phyllis said in Ghana, you need to know the traditional rituals that they do in every holiday. It's something that needs to be spoken of because you might be expected to partake in those activities. And by partake, I mean help. You're gonna be the help. You're gonna be the help. And sometimes they don't have time to explain it to you. And your husband might not even explain it to you either. So it's something you gotta learn. Even somebody said during the holidays, she said, sorry, the lady in the article, she said, during the holidays, I feel an unbearable amount of pressure. Even without chatting, I have to prepare all the meals during family gatherings. It's not easy trying to make huge meals in another person's kitchen. You gotta feed. Okay, let me give y'all an example. I had a friend, right? My homegirl, I don't want to call her homegirl. She's a friend of mine, but she's one of my closest friends in Korea. And whenever it would be so loud, she would tell me everything. She'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so tired. I had to work. Da, 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 I had to do this." They feed families the whole day. So what happened is her family, her husband's family is large. So they would come down from Seoul because she lived in Jeonju, and she would be in the kitchen all day making side dishes and different dishes. And so this set of the family, because remember, they live in a smaller, Koreans don't have big houses like that. Like they have big houses, but they're apartment style because there are too many people. So not a lot of people have houses like detached housing like us, right? So now imagine a lot of people in a small space. So what they would do is they would time it. So this family came at this time. This family came at that time. This family comes at this time. It was like a sequence. So y'all, it's a lot of work. So the whole day you on your feet, you feeding people, you talking, you mingling, and it's not your family. And then your mother-in-law in your ear telling you, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta know how to do this, you gotta talk to them like 안녕하세요. You gotta use Lopi man. You have to know how to do all that stuff. And now a lot of Korean moms are expecting the daughter-in-laws, not only the daughter-in-laws to do it, not only the Korean ones, but the foreign ones too, especially if you come from an Asian country. So a lot of Korean men are marrying women in from other Asian countries, and they're expecting their wives to know these traditions too, even though maybe they have something similar in their countries, but they're expecting them to know the Korean version. And it's not only them, even Caucasians, because I'm telling y'all, I'm part of a group on Facebook. I can't say the group because it's anonymous, but they have to learn Chade too. They gotta learn. And they always be complaining about it. Hold on, I'm gonna read Little Mama and then Phyllis. Little Mama said, also, this is why you and your partner have to be in the same page, on the same page. Yep, with religious beliefs, because you might get caught up in something and be there feeling like you can't participate. Exactly. You need to be on the same page. You have to be. Because you're gonna be doing some stuff. They're gonna expect it of you. And Phyllis said, is it one of the reasons a lot of Koreans are not getting married and going for B and and feeling unappreciated? Yeah, that is why they're doing the 4B movement. It's too much work. One, you're expected to do all this housework and you're expected to be a traditional daughter-in-law. That's family. Two, you're expected to child rear and your husband has minimal like he doesn't have to do it. Basically, he just goes to work, makes some money, you stay home, you take care of the kids. All that responsibility is on you. You take care of everything in the household. Three, um, society expects so much of you as a woman. And men have, it's a male-centered country. And you're not, this is the thing, like, you're allowed to get your education. They love educated women. But then at a certain point, it's like you're expected to be like kind of submissive and, there's too many expectations, basically. The standards are too high for people to meet. So now you have women who see that, especially that, like they said, millennials and Gen Z, and they see their moms toiling. Dad's not home or dad's not there. Sometimes both parents are working, if that's the case, because there are a lot of stay-at-home moms, but now there are a lot of working moms. And so now grandparents are taking care of the kids for the parents. And it's just a hard society to live in. The expectations are too high. Lots of Asians, Africans, and Black people do well when they marry each other due to similar cultures, not too well when they marry Europeans or white people. Well, I mean, this is a thing though, like, Phyllis, I agree, because it's similar cultures, so then they can get along. But then if you grow up in a Western country, it's too different. It's too different. The expectations are way too different. And especially, I will say that, like, you see, like in this example, the woman has to be there to help the mother-in-law all the time. This is not just for the holidays. Parent-in-laws can literally drop in your house and put stuff in your fridge and then leave. And sometimes a son-in-law has no backbone. He's weak against his parents because that's his parents. So parents can walk in at any time. Anytime they could just drop by. Just drop by. Dom's grandma used to do that. Rest in peace. She ain't care. She came at any time unannounced. She'd be like, hey, I'm here. What's going on? And it's a lot of expectation. It's high. And remember, this is the thing. In my perfectionist video I did my members only live, I said that they have no privacy. In my members only live, I said that like let me tell you, there's no boundaries. There are no boundaries at all. They will just drop in, come whenever they want. And you just got to deal with it. That's it. That's all. You have to do whatever they say. I'm telling y'all, if family want to drop by, they can come on in and help me with the chores and folding the clothes. No, they're going to expect you to do it. And she going to nag you about it because you're supposed to be doing it. She'll probably cuss you out while she's doing it too. Now, let me continue. She said one housewife that they spoke with said she feels sick because of the stress she endures around this time of the year and other major holidays such as Chuseok. She said that normally she starts having panic attacks and headaches a few weeks before the holidays begin. And let me see. She said she deplored the misfortune of having in-laws from some of the most conservative parts of the country, Gimcheong, North Gyeongsang province. So basically, this lady married into, because how can I say this? In Korea, different provinces have different traditions, right? So, for example, Gyeongsang-bukdo, which is one province, they're known to be very traditional. It's a traditional area. And then other provinces are maybe a little less traditional. But, sorry about that. Oh my God, so gross. But yeah, she ended up with someone from one of the most conservative parts of the country. So they expect a lot. And she said, let's listen to her experience. For the first 3 years of marriage, I traveled to Gimcheon for the holidays and did what I was told to do without feeling much resentment, the 40-year-old stay-at-home mom said. But then as the years went by, I started to feel an uncontrollable ease of anger. These holiday visits are a huge waste of time and money. But unless I intend to divorce my husband, these visits are an indispensable activity in our marriage. Okay. So basically, she didn't feel resentful at first. But then as time went on, she realized, hey, this is not working. But she can't say nothing to them. Again, people pleasing. And cultural expectations. It's all tied together. They expect you to be a people pleaser. You are born and bred to be a people pleaser, and you are married into a family, and you're expected to be a people pleaser. You cannot rock the boat. Again, if you want to marry somebody from an Asian or African background or any other collectivist society, Latin America, you have to learn how to be a people pleaser. That's how they are raised. They're not raised to be independent. They are raised to be collectivist. You do for the good of the parents in the community and your family. That's the duty. You get married, that's what you got to do. And as Phyllis said, if that's not what you want, you better think twice before you get married to a man like that, or find a man who is not too traditional, as my husband isn't. He definitely isn't. I'll say that. But in some ways he kind of is, but in some ways he's not. But he's not the traditional Korean, and his mom isn't either. So that's what I'm saying. It was easier for me to adapt to their family. Lil Mama said I'm already a people pleaser. Maybe I automatically be a gold candidate to my detriment. A good candidate. Yeah. Girl, you gonna run yourself ragged with Korean expectations. They expect a lot. Normally, okay, so she said it's not so much the kitchen chores that make it so hard. It's the stress that I feel when I'm with my husband's mother and his siblings. Normally, the Daegu native, remember I said Daegu is, well, I didn't say that, but Daegu is, I think, Gyeongsang-bukdo, if I'm not mistaken, province. I gotta remember. But Daegu is very conservative. The Daegu native is forced into the kitchen the minute, listen, I said that in my perfectionist video, in my live, my members only live. When you get home in Korea, you cannot rest. Let that be a warning to my sisters and whatever sister, whatever hue you are, if you're watching this chat. If you want to marry a Korean man, I don't know so much about the Asians, the other Asian men, but I know specifically for Korea. When you get inside that door, You cannot rest. She said, Romy, for you, is divorce prominent because of these issues? Yes, it is. It is. Divorce is prominent because of these issues, because we don't understand each other. If you come from a people pleasing background and you have a collectivist mindset, and then someone like me from an individualistic background, it's hard. Like, you got to really work hard to overcome those issues, because you don't understand each other in a way. Like, for me, the only thing I would say that kind of helps me is my parents also come up from a collectivist society, so I could understand the concepts, but there were things that I just couldn't get down with. But then at the same time, I'm so lucky because I have a husband who is not as traditional and who's willing to work with me, and we're willing to work with each other towards these issues so we can make it happen. But I will say, for the most part, a lot of these issues are because we don't communicate the same. Even the way we talk. If I talk to him, because I am a very free talker, the way I talk to y'all very freely. I'm very direct. But in Korean culture, you're not supposed to be direct. Directness is a no-no. You don't do that. You can't say how you really feel. You can't say it. Everything is, you got to circle around it. And also, you also have to make sure that you don't, how can I say this? You can't be too assertive. There has to be some type of like submissiveness and subdueness. Like, they don't like direct people. And then imagine, I grew up in America and Canada. Canada's not as direct, I would say that. But Americans, we're very direct. We're going to tell you like it is. But in Korea, you don't tell it like it is. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to just do it and shut your mouth and look happy, even though you're not happy. Like this. That's what they want. Phyllis said, is the divorce rate high in Korea? It's true. How we Africans are raised, African daughter, we have it worse with a lot of expectation. Yes, you do. You do. And the divorce rate is high in Korea, but not as high as here. I would say it's getting there, but divorce is still taboo in Korea. It's very taboo. But I will say interracial divorce with Koreans is very high, because people will just break up with their husbands and go back to their country. They're tired of it. They can't hang. Little mama said, would it be a bad idea to bring this up while dating? Like, I'm not going to be cooking every night as soon as I finish work, just not humanly possible. Yes, maybe like when you get serious, like not before you get serious, you can talk about different, like how you bring it up. I'm going to talk about it in my dating series, how you can bring things up to the person without being too forward and get his perspective. That's very important. You can learn a lot about people by asking the right questions. CFT said, I thought that Asians care about what their families think, so I assumed that divorce would not be prominent. It's not, but it's kind of like one of those things where now a lot of people are getting divorced, but it's not as like, it's still taboo. So a lot of people won't do it because they'll get shamed afterwards. And it's hard to overcome a divorce in Korea because of the, again, family, like the image of it. And also getting remarried is also something that's a bit taboo as well, and stepkids. So there's that. Yeah, there's a lot of societal issues with divorce, but some people are divorcing. It is happening. It is happening. Unless you are old, you can do what you want, right? Yeah, exactly. It seems like that part of Korean culture keeps people from protesting their unfair working condition. Yeah, but now they're speaking up. That's the thing about it. Like nowadays people are starting to speak up about it, but it's still something that's expected. So now, now you have foreign people going to Korea. We're meeting people, we're getting married, but then we don't know these things because they're not going to teach you that. They're not. Hold on a second. Sorry, this is very important, y'all. That's why I'm talking to y'all so much. I know. Okay. They're not teaching you this. They're not going to teach you this. This is something I had to learn. Like, there was no pop quiz for me. It was like, boop, you're married to a Korean family. Now this is what you expect. They're not going to tell you this. They not. Phyllis said, I watched a video years ago of an Asian man saying that a lot of marriage people are very unhappy and they have separate rooms and don't even sleep together. Yes, because they don't want to show that they're having issues. Because remember, Again, I'm going to talk about this in the dating series. When you get married in Korea, it's economic first and foremost. It's economic. It's not about love. They don't care about love. They don't care about love. Marriage is very transactional in Asian culture. I'm telling y'all. That's the secret. It's not a secret, but it's economic. So they're not getting married to you because they love you. They love you, but then this is the thing. Economics trump everything. So you take it for what you will. Most people get married, it's transactional because the family can do for them and they benefit something. There's the benefit to it. So that's why you'll see people sleeping in separate rooms, but they'll still keep that image of a perfect family because one, society, and two, because divorce costs a lot. And in Korea, it's really shunned upon. It's not looked at favorably. Like here, it's okay to have stepkids and you can have even baby mama, baby daddy culture. People's not going to, some people will shame you, but most of the time people seem to be okay with it. But in Korea, it's a no, you don't do that. Society still looks at you bad. Just remember the actor just recently, he had a baby out of wedlock with some Instagram model and they were shaming him in the comments and he lost a lot of brand deals. Because they found out that he slept with a woman out of wedlock and he's not marrying her. To them, they're like, oh no, you can't do that. So they took brand deals away from him. I forgot his name. I'll see if I can look him up. Recently, an actor. He just got an Instagram model pregnant. And then at first he didn't claim her. And then she came out on Instagram and said, oh yeah, he my baby daddy. And then, yeah, he's an actor, an older actor. And he's not even married. It's not like he did it. He was single. He was just doing his thing. Got a girl knocked up. But they were like, nope. Took away his brand deals and everything. I have an experience to share on the Discord. Yes, please. Share it in the Discord, Lil Mama, please. Keep it offline. Lil Mama said, I had a friend tell me this straight up, that there is no love there. I understand no, there's no love. It's an arrangement. Now, I'm not saying everyone thinks that way, but majority of people, that's what they want. It's an economic benefit. I even talked about it in my members only live, the new economic marriage for Koreans. Phyllis, they don't tell people because a lot of foreign people won't be marrying them. Yep. You know who I'm talking about, Lil Mama. Yep. In the Philippines, I thought divorce was illegal. It is. In the Philippines, it's illegal to get divorced. Yep. And I agree with you, Lil Mama. I think as long as a child gets the care it needs, but at the same time, I understand because it's like, sir, what you doing knocking her up and you're not about to be a responsible human being? Because at first he didn't even want to be a father. Like, it's a lot of levels to it. But I get it. Sometimes things happen, but that's how strict they are. Like, they don't care. They're like, you're going to lose your brand deals. All right, let's continue. It was interesting that while these housewives were willing to speak frankly about their experiences as a holiday maid, they were fearful to have their names printed in the newspaper. Yeah, they didn't want that smoke with their in-laws. Someone said, speaking ill of the in-laws is like spitting on my own face because they are people I have chosen as my family. That's why in many cases, housewives will not openly speak ill of them. All right. And then one housewife said she wants to teach her 3 girls of what it means to be a daughter-in-law and then basically teach them that this ain't it. And she said that Korea isn't a country that respects daughter-in-laws. But I still would urge my girls to fulfill their basic duties of a daughter-in-law and refrain from placing personal comfort before family duty. Let's repeat that. Korea is not a country that respects daughter-in-laws. But she has daughters, this girl. But I would still urge my girls to fulfill the basic duties of a daughter-in-law and refrain from placing personal comfort before family duty. Before family duty, y'all. So that's what it is in Korea. People pleasing. You're not supposed to be comfortable. Your comfort does not matter to us. Your opinion, nobody give a F about your opinion. That's what they're saying. We don't care about your opinion. We don't care about F how you feel. F your opinion. You here to work. Because you're now a daughter-in-law. You're married into this family. My son chose you. and we let you in our family. We accepted you, so now you got to do work. And it doesn't matter if you're foreign or not. Maybe sometimes if you're a foreigner, they give you a little leeway. They will give you a leeway. But I'm talking about those really, really traditional Korean families. And to be honest with y'all, I'm going to tell y'all real tea right now. You probably won't have to worry about that as a person of color, because chances are that if he is very, very traditional, he is not going to marry you, a person of color, but he'll marry somebody either Korean or Korean adjacent, which means somebody with the hue in the complexion, which means a white woman. So you most likely probably don't have to worry about that, but I'm just speaking out just in case, the small probability. But usually if they're very traditional, they're not going to look at you. You too black. You too black. You too ethnic. They're going to be like, whoa, no, 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 no. So usually he'll probably be with a Korean girl or somebody who could present as a Korean, aka a white person, or somebody with a lighter hue. If you're a white Latina or white something, they could get down with that. Even another Asian, maybe, maybe not, depending on what country they come from. Again, it's economics. If you come from a poor Asian country, they ain't with it. I'm telling y'all the truth right now, real talk. I love what you, I don't mean to make a joke, but it's true. They ain't with it. So yeah, you probably won't have to worry about that. So if you have a Korean man approach you and you're a woman of color, you good. However, you still need to know this stuff because you never know. You might be an outlier. Maybe. But for the most part, you won't have to worry about it. Let me read the comments. Phyllis said it affects children negatively if they see their parents are a transactional and loveless marriage. It does. And it's sad because, again, I'm not saying all people just think of economics. I'm just saying it's a lot of people have that mindset. Like, you got to graduate from a good school and then the man got to have money. And I get it because it's like, yo, like there's a lot of expectations on us. Like, especially in that culture, it's a very competitive environment. So yeah, you need to have someone who can bring the bread home, because how's he going to take care of you in that high pressure society? Please, you need to have something going for him. They don't date bums and losers. I'll tell you that much. Lil Mama said, I just hope this changes as the generation goes on. Yep. I'm sorry, I could be in love, but if the family is like that, sorry, bye-bye, son. Nah, you ain't got to worry about that, sis. Des Studio said, wow, there's this one foreign girl who's married to a Korean foreigner, and she makes life look great. But honestly, it's now seems like she's in a very precarious situation. Wow. Yeah. I'm going to get on that. I'm gonna get on people who I'm telling y'all don't. Okay, I'm gonna get on that. Let me read the rest of the comments. We sitting over here worried for don't worry, y'all. Y'all ain't gotta worry. I promise you good. Good, LOL. I just want to show up to my family function and bring my dish. No, this is a thing though. You might still end up in a traditional Korean family, but usually they don't like you. They're not gonna like you because you black or you're POC. You're not, you're darker. So you usually like. Unfortunately, I will say a very traditional Korean family, they probably won't like you in the beginning, but then they're the people you got to fight to be in their family for. I ain't doing all that. I would never. That's not me. I'm sorry. Sorry to all of y'all who do fight for the cause. I get it. But for me, I'm out. At that point, I'm out. What? Once my R-word king son marries you pale women who become your servant. What? We just want to bring the dish. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get back to someone who wrote it. Y'all, I'll be forgetting. At the Deaf Studio, you said they make life look great. Yes, social media will do that. I'm not saying, again, I don't want to say everyone's life is like this. But what I'm trying to say is that people are only going to show you what they want you to see because it gets the views. Y'all look at my channel. If I pop out with Dom right now and we do some content that's AMBW, I promise y'all we gonna get the views. Or we pop out with the romantic content. We go on Instagram and do, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so amazing. I love seeing interracial couples live a great life. I love seeing that. I love the love. But People are not going to really show you what's really going on behind closed doors. That's all I'm going to say. And not that I have a problem with that. Like I said, I don't. But at the same time, I would never do that to y'all because that's not. I know it'd be crazy in the background. That's all I'm gonna say. I know what it really is. That's what I'm saying. So I can't lie to y'all and be like, oh yeah, you just gotta find your Korean prince or your Asian prince, your Asian king, your white king, your Indian king, your Pakistani king, your whatever king, your African king. I'm not gonna tell y'all to do that. I wouldn't. You said maybe mac and cheese. I'm done with y'all. You gonna bring mac and cheese to a Korean? Oh, yeah. Well, they'll eat it. They love mac and cheese. I'll say that. Okay, so now let's continue. So, how do mother-in-laws feel about this? All right. At 11760. Okay. Daughter-in-laws are part of my family, and I want all family members to take part in holiday traditions. So this is a mother-in-law talking. She's giving her side of the story. There is no rule that says they absolutely have to visit during the holiday. She a lie. She lying. But ideally, a woman should perceive Myeongjeol duties as part of her obligation as a daughter-in-law. I'm going to read what the mother-in-law said, a mother-in-law. Let me read this. So they took the article, did the perspective. She lying like a rug. Okay, let me tell you. They did the article perspective from the daughter-in-law's perspective and the mother-in-law. So this is a mother-in-law speaking, a 65-year-old woman around my mama's age. Daughters-in-law are part of my family, and I want all family members to take part in the holiday celebrations. There is no rule that says they absolutely have to visit during the holidays, but ideally, a woman should perceive Myeongjeol duties as part of the obligation as a daughter-in-law. She a lie. Let me tell you, it's not the beginning of the sentence. Like I told you, Korean people are very indirect. So I'm going to tell you what this really means in Korean speak. All right. And again, if it's your first time watching, I lived in Korea for 6 years. So I know what I'm talking about. This is Korean 101. Whatever they said in the beginning of the sentence don't matter. It's the last. She said, but ideally, this means this is expected. It is nunchi. Exactly. They're going to say, oh yeah, man, you don't have to. But once you hear that but, that negates everything that was said previously. That but and whatever, you better pay attention. They said Myeongjeol is the duty of the daughter-in-law. Get with it or get left behind. And now there's a new term that came out that's called Myeongjeol divorce. And it's been circulating around the media, referring to the rise of divorce rates in February and March following Lunar New Year holidays. I told y'all, divorce is getting up there. People are getting fed up. Women are fed the heck up. All right, so that ends it for my daughter-in-law because I wanted to keep it just short for that. I was going to get into finance. How much time do I have? Okay, just a little bit more time. Give me a little, because I only come on once a week. All right. Come on here once a week, I should say. Now, let's talk about finance and people pleasing real quick. I'm not going to talk too long because I know a lot of y'all got things to do and I got things to do too, but I think this is very important. I'm going to summarize these articles. I'm not going to go into detail, but what I will say is this. Remittance. How many of y'all send things Western Union? Western Union, MoneyGram, all my Caribbean people, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're not Caribbean, I don't know where you're sending these transfers to. Who sends money transfers? I need to know that. Because if you send money transfers, you heard of it. Yes. So let me tell y'all something. It is real. Money transfer. So my mom does it every time when she sends money to my grandpa in Haiti. And I know a lot of Caribbean people do it too, especially if you have family back home. So for a lot of migrant women from the Philippines, especially, Philippines, and hold on, I'm going to tell y'all. In 2013, and this was a UN Women's report, they said developing countries accounted for 75.4% of global distributions of remittance, with concentrations mainly in East Asia and the Pacific. So people from China, migrant workers, women, female migrant workers from India, China, Philippines, and Mexico, their remittance accounted for 15% of the GDP for small developing countries. That's a high amount. Basically, Women are expected to send money back home to their families. People pleasing, like I told you, it's cultural. At a global level, female migrants send approximately the same amount of remittance as male migrants. However, research suggests that women tend to send a higher proportion of their income, even though they earn less than men. They're expected to. Why? Because when you leave your family, you go abroad, you still got to take care of your family as a woman. You're expected to, whereas the men are not. People pleasing. They want their family. Like I said, collectivist mindset, people pleasing is part of it. This is what they're bred to be. And in general, men mainly remit to their wives. And female migrants, they tend to send remittance to their family, or women taking care of children, or children in the household. And they're responsible for their extended family. So it's not just mama, daddy, not just mom, dad, brother, sister. If you make it out of whatever country you're from and you go to the US of A or Dubai or France, wherever, if you're from a small developing country, as a woman, you are expected to feed your family, extended included. So that's cousins, aunties, grandpas, grandma, everybody. You got to send money to people. How are they making it? I don't know. I don't get it. Caribbean as well. I could add Caribbean to that because I know a lot of Jamaican, Haitian, different types, Trinidad, people sending money back home all the time. Celebrities, Lil Mama, you're right. If they get rich and famous, we're going to talk about it. The black tax. I'm getting on it. Next article. How the black tax affects intergenerational wealth transfer. We're going to talk about finance and people pleasing. I'm telling y'all. Many times, people feel guilt or shame about how much money they don't have. For those who made it professionally and financially, I'm glad you brought that up, little mama. That guilt or shame may not disappear. It may transform into guilt for having too much. The change in financial status may straddle between feelings of pride demonstrated through extravagant purchases or lifestyle upgrades and sort of survivor's remorse. You feel guilty for making it out of the crabs in a barrel mentality. You feel guilty for making it. What is the black tax? The black tax has different definitions. One is related to racism and redlining. So being black and you're being redlined, especially historically in the US. In Canada, you're redlined from different housing and different things. That's one explanation. The second definition, is the practice where a successful black individual supports members of their immediate and extended family financially. Studies link this practice to South Africa. However, it is a common occurrence among first-generation college graduates and high-income earners in the U.S. who feel obligated to add the financial burdens of members of their family and communities of their own. We're going to talk about this. While seemingly beneficial to those who are struggling, this puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the individuals to not only maintain their status financially, but to grow it with very few resources, which can increase financial stress or financial anxiety. Phyllis says that's the reason why a lot of black people are not able to create generational wealth for themselves because all the money they earn goes to family members and relatives. Exactly. It restricts, I'm glad you said that because next, it restricts movement and a willingness to take on financial risk because failure financially for the individual has a ripple effect on those who support. They're scared to take risks. They're scared to move on. They're scared to get higher in their career. They're scared to take on different jobs, different roles because they have too many people dependent on them. This is a problem. And it's a form of people pleasing because we don't want to make anyone feel sorry. We can't say no. And then how many times people have asked you to sign on for a car loan or something, they need a co-signer. They're going to ask a family member. If you say no, you feel bad, you feel guilty. Oh, why can't you do it for your daddy? Why can't you do it for your son? Why can't you do it for me? I'm your parent. Meanwhile, you're taking on a burden and it's stopping you from building wealth. Because not only are the Asian people doing it when they're sending remittances, that's what they're doing, but you especially if you're a Black person, you are supporting your family more than likely. And if you're not doing it consistently, you're probably around people who expect it of you. Not everyone, but I'm saying a majority of us are dealing with that. Where, let me borrow this money, let me borrow that, that adds up. People don't have it together and they expect you to do it. There was a boxer, Carlisa, the one who was sleeping with Remy Ma's husband. The boxer, Carlisa, I forgot her last name. She said she had to cut off her family. She got into it with her siblings because when she made it out the hood, when she made it as a boxer, they expected her to take care of them. How many times you heard celebrities when their nieces or nephews come out the woodwork? I think it was Jay-Z where his nephew was mad because he only sent him a certain amount of money, and he's like, "Oh, you're rich. You're supposed to take care of me, or you're supposed to." It's a lot. If you look on social media, a lot of young Africans and Caribbean have stopped sending money to relatives and are encouraging others to do the same. Yes, I saw that. I think I have an article on that, actually. Hold on. Do I? Yes, hold on. I think I wrote it. Yep, black tax. Okay, let's get to that. I'm glad you brought that up, Felix. I have an article on this. Black tax, why some young Africans want to stop sending money home. I'm glad you brought that up. let's continue a little bit. Let's continue. Your parents don't support people anymore. They shouldn't. It's hard, man. I'm telling y'all. It's hard. I'm going to continue with this and then we're going to wrap it up for tonight because I know I've been on here for a minute. Sending money back home to your extended family is such a common African practice that I absolutely hate, said a Kenyan influencer. And she had a TikTok rant. Oh, you got the answer, little mama? Hold on. You said something here. All right, I'm going to look at your answer. You said, I asked my friend and he says they do eat the food after chat. Yeah, I remember. I think that's what I heard. So I'm glad he said it. I'm glad that he confirmed it. So now, this person said that they stopped sending money back home. They had a rant on TikTok. Yeah, it was a big viral moment. And they said that when Black Africans achieve a modicum of success, or even a little bit of success, whether at home or abroad, they find themselves having to support less well-off family members. This is a problem. And you got to understand, their cost of living is lower than yours. When you send a money transfer, whether it's through Western Union, PayPal, now they have so many different ones. I think when it's Barley Bank, whatever, you send money back home. They take money from you. The transfer costs money. So for every $100, they have to take off a certain amount. So you're not even getting whatever you're sending, you have to send more. So let's say you want to send $500, you actually probably got to send $600 just to cover the transfer fees. Maybe even more. And then your cost of living is higher. So whatever it took for you to make that money, it takes way more than for them to get it. And their economy is obviously it's not as it's a little more affordable, I would say, because your dollar is probably more than theirs. And so when they get it, they be balling out. But guess what? If you have to sustain them, it's hard to keep up with that. That's what I'm saying. It's not healthy and it's unsustainable and unrealistic. It's people pleasing because you don't want to let your family down. You done made it. You don't want to seem like the ungrateful person who made it, and you have feelings of guilt. But guess what? It's only going to hurt you in the end. And that's what this is about, this whole movement. And they said giving back is seen as an intrinsic part of African philosophy of, I hope I'm saying it right. Phyllis, you could correct me if you know this word, Ubuntu, which stresses the importance of family and community rather than the individual. Collectivist, people pleasing. Like I said, if you're a collectivist society, you're naturally raised as a people pleaser. The question for many is whether this is a necessary and a welcome burden or part of the community obligation to help pull others up. But now they're pushing against the practice. She said, okay, someone said in the article that her father has supported members of the extended family for years, and now they're looking for her help. She turned her anger on a particular unnamed relative. So basically what's going on is that when the parents can no longer do it, because remember, they got to retire, maybe something happened to them. When they can no longer do it, then the children have to take over that. That's insane. And I'm telling y'all that might be happening with me because God forbid, if if my mom can no longer take care of her sibling in Haiti and her dad or whatever family member she's taking care of, they're going to expect me to do it. But they ain't got my number though. Anyway, let's continue. While others have agreed, while others have taken issues with the position, it's not clear why the video was removed from TikTok. Okay, the video got removed, blah, 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 blah. All right. So in the end, one person said a former teacher, they don't know my number, girl. They don't know. They ain't got my number. They ain't got my number. Phyllis said lots of them back home take advantage of our generosity and are living like kings and queens over there. Yep, some 30-plus-year-old men having children out of wedlock and expecting siblings abroad to provide. That's exactly what's happening. It's not helping them. It's actually making their economy worse. Well, it's making their economy better, but they're not being self-sufficient. They're not learning how to fish. They just know how to ask for fish. So if they know how to ask for fish, you're going to keep asking you, but then you're not helping them actually to build their own wealth. They're not thinking about that. They're just getting the quick lick. But when the money runs dry, that's when they're going to start learning how to work. But a lot of the times they're not working. They don't want to work. And so they said the system of oppression that concentrated resources in the hands of colonial power or tiny minority of settlers made it impossible for the majority to accumulate assets. So they said that the Black tax is rooted in colonialism, and that left many Black families with no generational wealth. And then they concluded to say that the payment of Black tax can often become a never-ending cycle, as the money sent to family members often only temporarily plugs a hole, which will later reopen. Like I said, it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. These tough times are resulting in a lot of people being cut off. Absolutely, because before we end it, the article keeps going and going and going, but that's the point. The point is, I'm going to just read one last paragraph from here. They said in 2023, funds sent home by African migrants amounted to 95 billion, according to the International Fund for Agricultural Development, which is almost the size of a Kenyan economy. So money people sent back home was 95 billion. 95 billion in USD and 72 billion in euros. Why? That's a lot of money to send back home. And the economy, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of people are not doing what they're supposed to do with the money. All the money that goes into the continent, it should, listen, we could go into politics in that. I don't want to say anything, but what I will say is that we should be more advanced than we are right now. Same thing with Haiti. All the money that goes to Haiti from transfers, Haiti's economy should be way different right now. So it's like, what are people doing with the money? That's what we need to ask questions about. But yeah, Dev Studio, you're right. People getting cut off. My children need school files. Yep, I can send you money, or mom is sick and she need medicine. That's what I'm saying. But they're spending it on stuff that's unnecessary instead of building their economy. And it's sad because I had to come to that realization, because I used to always think that it's corruption. Yeah, because the money gets in the hands and then it's like it's a corrupt system, and like everybody is getting fooled. And then we're sending money, but then you don't see the progress. What was the kid doing? Oh yeah, my mom's sick, my mom's this person got kidnapped, so on and so forth. We need a ransom. Y'all know my daddy got locked up a few years ago. Y'all remember when they asked us for money to get my daddy out of jail? But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes, like, it's like they're asking for more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and then meanwhile you're struggling to give it to them and you ain't even got it. So now that's what I'm saying. It's a part of people pleasing behavior, and we got to stop that. Got to nip it in the bud. The last thing I will leave with, because I know I've been on live for a minute, is that, and I'm gonna read, I think I missed a few comments, but the last thing I want to say is that, like, people pleasing comes in so many different forms. And now I'm realizing how cultural it is in both collectivist and individualistic. Individualistic culture, people pleasing is seen more in relationships and also in the career, in the workplace. Collectivist is everything. Everything is people pleasing. Everything. Everything. And so when you have that kind of, people are expecting so much out of you and the standards are so high, And you have to meet those standards and also do it without complaining, without having an opinion, without saying how you feel, without feeling bad. It's a problem. And so you're running yourself into health issues, divorce. People are getting, they're not, it's not clicking. But what it is now I'm starting to realize that our high divorce rate is not because of incompatibility, in the sense that people think it's so simple, like, oh, they just can't get along. No, a lot of it has to do with a lot of issues that we don't identify and pinpoint. Because if you're a people pleaser, we're going to talk about it next week. I'm going to continue the live and tell you, if you're a people pleaser, you are more likely to attract a narcissist. The next article I'm going to read next week, why narcissists attract people pleasers. And if you have some kind of harmful habits that are holding you back in your life, and there are a lot of harmful habits that we have internalized, either whether it's through culture or through our upbringing, family, all of these things matter, and they affect how we interact with people and the relationships we have with people and the type of relationships we have, whether they're going to succeed or not. I'm telling you, there's a lot that goes into it. Phyllis said some old uncle even had the nerve to tell my father to neglect his children to send money to the family. They do that. They're selfish because they think that their needs matter more than yours because it's the community. I'm not surprised that happened. They do that. They don't care. So what I'm saying is that when you have to, okay, all of this to say, I'm going to wrap this up, and then next week we'll talk about why narcissists attract people pleasers. All of this to say that when you have harmful habits such as people pleasing, perfectionism, there's so many other ones. Anxiety, anxious. I'm going to talk about anxious, not anxious, avoidance attachment. I'm telling y'all, all of these things matter. Why? Especially the people pleasing. I find the people pleasing one the most harmful because you're not taking care of yourself. And when you don't take care of yourself, you don't have enough to give to others. And you're running on low energy. And so when you put that into effect and you start caring about other people's needs more than yours, your relationships are not going to succeed. I hate to tell you guys that. And I'm sorry if you know you're a people pleaser, because I used to be one. And let me tell you, when my relationships started getting better, when I cut all them folks off, I cut them off. I was like, no, you know, in the Bible, they said if your left arm causes you to sin, you cut it off. I cut all them people off. Real talk. And some of them, you know, sometimes they seep through the first cut, because you know you have a cut. The first round, I cut all the worst ones off. Then the second round, cut it off again. And then the third round, I was like, oh, some people went through the cracks, but you know, I'm gonna monitor this person. Oh no, cut them off. And now I'm completely isolated, and I'm happier than I've ever been because I don't have to deal with that no more. And what I realized was that my people pleasing tendencies were causing my relationships to fail because I was thinking so much more of their needs instead of mine. And in the end, I had resentment. I wasn't happy. I was very unhappy, unfulfilled, working in jobs I didn't want to work at, and just trying to prove a point to who? Who are you proving a point to? For what? So you can have a good job and have a status symbol and say, oh, I made it? Or are you trying to prove that you're a good daughter or good wife or good girlfriend? Nah, it ain't worth it. I'm telling y'all. Little mama, then I guess this message for you and all my other people pleasers. I'm telling you, as a former people pleaser, stop it. Stop it. It's not going to work. Well done, Romy. People pleasing in any culture destroys happiness. That's where I'm going to leave it off with. It will destroy you and it will kill you. If it doesn't destroy you internally, it's going to destroy you physically. You're not going to end up happy. And then you're going to find years down the road, you're going to wish that you didn't do half of those things that you did. You're young now, little mama, so take the time to really reflect. Take some time and really think of your people-pleasing tendencies and really start to set boundaries. I'm going to have a series about boundaries and how different cultures do not respect boundaries and how they perceive boundaries. We're going to talk about that. But it's so important, y'all. Anyways, I could go on and on about this, but all I will say is this, like, please, please, please stop being a people pleaser if you have identified that you are. If you're taking care of others, if you're working overtime and working hours and getting unpaid, stop doing that right now. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I don't care what they say. If they say, oh, we're going to give you more time. No, time is not time. Okay, we're going to talk about this a little bit quickly. Time is irreplaceable. You cannot replace time. You can't. So they can't give you whatever time they're going to give you. It's not value to me anyways. It's not going to be worth it. Romy, CFT, I'm going to answer this. Oh, good thing you just said that. Off topic, I see moving boxes. No, you're not. I love how you start off with, if I'm not asking anything too personal, did you and hubby get the apartment that you were applying for? So congrats on the lateral move. Continue blessings. Yes, and no, it's not private. I mentioned it at the beginning of the chat, but I'm glad you caught that. Y'all be peeping. Yeah, we bought these boxes today because we're moving. So yeah, and I'm gonna have some behind the scenes and also post a vlog about our moving experience too and all that jazz. So y'all look forward to that. That's gonna come up and what it's like to move in Victoria and also rent prices, like how much everything costs. It's a little pricey out here, but yeah. Point is, y'all, please don't be people pleasers. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, finally we moving on up to the wait, is it the south side or the east side? East side. We finally found a piece of the pie. Moving on up. Yeah, we're moving at the end of the month. So yeah, that's why actually, it's east side. Thank you. That's why actually I haven't come out with thank you, Imani. I haven't come out with a calendar of what I want to do. And that's why my videos are pre-recorded because I know I'm gonna be busy. I'm in school. I'm also moving. And so that's why I haven't really even in the Discord, I have an event calendar that I want to do of different events. But February, I'll have everything more ironed out. Right now, it's like everything's kind of in limbo. So that's why I'm coming on and kind of doing these long lives because I know the week that I'm moving, I probably won't go live. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, sis. Thank you, all of y'all. A new chapter. Girl, we needed it. This studio was so small. So small. Please take care, easy. I won't do too much. No, so the last week of January, I'm not gonna go live. I'll probably post some pre-recorded content, but last week of January, I'm not going live. So that's why I'm going live a lot now. So that the last week of January, y'all not gonna see me. I'm really gonna have to disappear for a bit. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yep. And I'm being a coach. Yep. I got that all ironed out too. I got to start my classes soon. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I got a lot going on, but I love talking to y'all. So it doesn't feel like a chore to me. I promise. I love it. Even if I could give like 3 hours of my time a week, I'm good. Oh, thank you, Dizzy. Look at her coming. You were secretly in there, Evo. I didn't see you. Merci, cousine. Yeah, we're definitely. Thank you at the Deb Studio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's our last rental until we get a house, y'all. We claiming it. We're like, that's our last rental. And then after that, we get in our little house, our little condo, wherever we're gonna live. I learned a lot. Oh, thank you, Phyllis. That's what I want. And we're gonna learn a lot more. So yeah, we're gonna learn a lot more. I'm gonna end it now, but please stop being a people pleaser. Please stop it. That's the last thing I'm gonna say tonight. So next week, yeah, let's go over people pleasing and narcissism. And then I'm gonna go into I think I'm gonna talk about negative self-talk as well. Is it negative self-talk? I'll figure out a topic to talk about. That's another harmful habit. And then we're gonna get into the Chinese one that Phyllis had requested. Yes, please take care of yourself and relax and rest too. Thank you, sis. Thank you, all of y'all. So I'm gonna head out now. Thank you for listening to me yap, and I hope this was informative. And I will see y'all next week. Love y'all. Bye. Oh, when will we watch Love is Blind Germany? Okay, I'm gonna let you know, Phyllis. Are you in you're in the Discord, right? I'll post it on the Discord. I'm gonna post it on the Discord. Bye, y'all. Love y'all. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you at the Dev Studio. And bye, y'all. Love y'all.